passionate, driven, enthusiastic, euphoric. This is who we are as entrepreneurs. But how we leverage these incredible attributes to dream and build businesses that scale and grow is what this podcast is all about. Hello, I'm attorneypreneur Josh Brown, and welcome to Franchise Euphoria.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of Franchise Euphoria. Josh Brown here. Thrilled to have Nunzio Presta as my guest today. Nunzio is a ex-professional athlete turned entrepreneur, founder and CEO at BizON, which is an online marketplace where people can buy, sell, and grow businesses or franchises every day. He is a thought leader on digital marketing and entrepreneurship through acquisition and a mentor to many entrepreneurs, small business owners, and franchise owners. Nunzio graduated from the Ted Rogers School of Management at Ryerson University with a Bachelor of Commerce. Hello, Nunzio. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thank you.
I just have to tell the listeners, if it sounds a little bit different today, it's because I'm sort of doing this ad hoc right now because I'm at home just having watched a beautiful solar eclipse, and so doing this not through the normal microphone, but we'll make it work, right? Just like entrepreneurs, right? You know, when a problem comes up, you just figure a way around it.
The beauty of a mobile workforce, right?
Exactly. So listen, you and I have had an opportunity to connect through a mutual friend, Jamie Masters, formerly Jamie Tardy,
Yes.
and you've got this really cool business called BizON. But before we talk about that, I have to ask, with that, the first part of your bio being that you're a former professional athlete, what sport did you play?
I played hockey. And obviously being from Canada, right? That's the go-to sport.
I think maybe with that Canadian accent, they could have probably guessed that. I don't know. So how many years did you play hockey for?
There you go. Oh, I actually started late. I started playing at 7, and the only reason why is because my father put my mother in charge of registering me, and she delayed it probably 3 or 4 years because she was scared that I would get hurt.
Like any good mother is, right?
I started at 7, and yeah, exactly, right. And then basically I started at 7, and I ramped up pretty quickly from there.
Well, so obviously you've had success as an athlete, and I think a lot of times you see that where success from sports can translate very seamlessly into business. And currently you're the founder and CEO at BizON, as we said, which is an online marketplace. Really where people can kind of go with buyers and sellers and people who want to grow their business. But tell the audience a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So to put it pretty simply, it's a marketing tool. So we're doing a great job right now creating this really engaged, top of mind, go-to marketplace where we basically are attracting and connecting engaged buyers and sellers. And those buyers and sellers come in forms of realtors, business brokers, franchisors, franchisees. So what we're really looking to do from a marketing perspective and from a social selling perspective is really create this really dynamic, engaged, resourceful experience and community where people can go in order to experience that, that buying or selling experience.
And so how did you come up with this idea, number one? And then number two, once you came up with it, how did you kind of put it into place?
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty cool story. I started a little business in university with a friend of mine, and we grew it up to a certain point where we both looked at each other and said, hey, listen, we don't have the resources or expertise to grow this anymore. Let's try and see if we could sell this to someone else. It's not a massive business, but it was a pretty good business, something that someone could get a grab of and grow it even more. So when I started looking for channels and professionals to help me, nothing met my expectations. I was hit with all sorts of barriers. So I said to myself, well, this is not the way this should be. And I identified, an opportunity, looked into it a little bit more and started, uncovering trends such as the growing baby boomer population, that are looking to retire and sell, the increase in franchising, and then also the increase in millennials having this wanting to transition away from a 9-to-5 and be their own business owner. And that's what started, the journey to spearheading this movement that we like to call entrepreneurship through acquisition, where we believe being an entrepreneur is not only someone that starts something from scratch, but it's also someone that grows something existing into something even better, whether it's an independent business or a franchise opportunity. And that's what we've been doing ever, since I incorporated the company in 2012, found myself on a 2-year journey perfecting the marketplace and attracting a team that could help me build it out. And we officially launched in 2014, and we haven't looked back.
So tell me exactly, kind of break it down, because I'm sure there's people out there kind of wondering, okay, how does this exactly work? I know, traditionally when you're in business and you're looking for someone to buy your business or you're looking to sell businesses, I mean, traditionally people think about brokers or other intermediaries to come in there and do that. But you guys aren't brokers. And so I think that's a really good point. And I think it helps explain what the marketplace is. Because, when you talk about it, it makes good sense to me because you've walked me through everything before. But I think it'd be worthwhile to even break it down a little bit more in terms of how this marketplace works. I mean, how do people get onto this marketplace, and then once they're onto it, how do they get involved in it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's pretty simple. If I had to paint the picture, it's like a Kijiji experience, but focused and targeted towards connecting serious and engaged buyers and sellers. So you would simply just go to mybizon.com. You would join for free. And why we ask everyone to join and create an account is because we're really focused and dedicated to creating a confidential experience for both the buyer and seller. We're trying to avoid as many tire kickers as possible. Now, once you're a member, you have three options pretty much. You could search our search engine to look for businesses or franchises that suit your budget, location, or industry. You could engage in our Grow tab, which there's all sorts of tabs that could direct you to tips, resources, connecting with professional services to help you either grow your business or give you advice and guidance on that selling or buying journey. And then the third thing you could do, obviously, is sell your business or franchise. And the unique and special thing about our marketplace is that we understand that sometimes a business owner may need to leverage a broker, or a business owner may be savvy enough to try and sell it themselves because they know the valuation and whatnot. So what we've done is we've created 3 unique offerings. One is called our self-serve ads, and that's when a business owner could potentially create an ad and try and sell the business or franchise on their own because they are confident, they know the process, they know their valuation, and they have their acquisition team on hand. And when we say acquisition team, we mean they have their accountant, their lawyer, and banker on hand. So basically all we are for them is a matchmaker, and then they carry on offline to hopefully close that transaction. Now, a lot of brokers and franchisors would also leverage that option as well and use it primarily as a marketing tool in order to help promote the sale of their clients' businesses or looking to expand their franchise by looking for franchisees. The second offering is basically our full serve option. And that's when there's a business owner or entrepreneur that comes to our marketplace. We attracted them. They're looking to sell, but then they step back and they're like, whoa, listen. This is, I'm in too deep here. I'm really scared with this process. I don't have the experience. I need a lot more hand-holding during this entire journey. And that's where they could submit an inquiry for a full serve option. And that's when we would connect them with a preferred business broker in their area. And that preferred business broker would basically help them throughout the entire process from start to finish. So it's a truly brokerage service. And then the third option is basically our subscription listings. And that's for these high volume sellers, which generally are franchisors and business brokers that have hundreds and hundreds of listings. And what we do or what we say to them is we say, hey, listen, we have a ton of engaged and qualified buyers in our marketplace that really want to look at your inventory. So for one a pretty cost-effective fee per month, you can basically list as many opportunities as you want and receive as many leads as you can. And that, I think that's a mutual, it's mutually beneficial to BizON and to also the broker and franchisor. So when we step back and we look at, the three types of offerings that we have in our marketplace, it really satisfies us because we believe that those three offerings are unique and they play, or at least they speak to each unique type of seller.
So can you give an idea, and I'm specifically curious on the franchise side, especially for like emerging. Well, first I've got two questions on the first. With emerging or with franchisors that are looking to attract good qualified leads, what does that subscription look like? I mean, maybe give a range in terms of fees if you can. I don't know if you can, but
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we're very transparent. So they could go to our site. You could research absolutely everything about our marketplace before joining and creating an account. But for a franchisor, it's extremely cost effective. Right now, the pricing starts at $80 Canadian per month. And like I said, when they're a subscriber within our marketplace, that gives them the ability to list as many franchise opportunities as they want and receive as many leads as their listing can get from our marketplace.
So they can specify it by location, so that if there's a franchisor looking to expand in a certain location, they can specify that
exactly
and try to. Oh, that's great.
We would highly recommend that. So that's how our marketplace is built. So we actually tell our sellers that you need to specify a location, because what happens from our search engine is a seller, they basically could search as broad or as narrow as they want. So when our sellers specify everything from, say city, state, country, industry, budget, our sellers can now, use those unique describers, I guess, in their search engine in order to get the results that may match that. So, for example, if you're selling a franchise, in, say, Toronto, Ontario, Canada for $150,000, if that, buyer searches Toronto, you'll come up. If that buyer searches Ontario, you'll come up. If that buyer searches Canada, your listing will come up. And if that buyer searches $150,000, your listing can come up. So it really does a great job at allowing our search engine to be dynamic, no matter how broad or targeted that potential buyer is in their search.
So now let me flip that a little bit. Now with a prospective franchisee, somebody who's looking to buy into a franchise business, maybe has had a dream to own their own business, but they want to go find a good opportunity. What does that involvement look like with BizON?
Yeah, so from our side, so we're putting all our chips into social selling and creating a top of mind brand where people could recognize that, hey, this is the marketplace to go in order to find great franchise or business opportunities. So from our angle, attracting that right franchisee happens way before they even join our marketplace. It happens from, our social content, our commitment to partnerships, our commitment to podcasts such as this. We're out and about ensuring that our brand is front and centered for our targeted segments. So attracting those right qualified franchisees happens long before they join. But once that franchisee joins, it's pretty simple. They join for free. They verify their account. And now they can engage in our search engine to look for franchise opportunities from across Canada, the US, and also Australia. And then, if they don't see anything they like at that moment, they could create alerts, and we'll automatically alert them when an opportunity becomes available that suits their search criteria. And they could also manage their listings and watch listings closely that they like, but they're still not ready to, press the connect button yet. So we really created a marketplace where a potential seller could take their time, conveniently search for opportunities 24/7, and really manage and analyze, the type of opportunities within our marketplace and what really suits their lifestyle and what they could see themselves, doing day in and day out.
Well, so tell me this. I mean, obviously you've launched this a few years ago, and you've kind of worked through, I'm sure, some of the challenges. Well, what's been some of the challenges that you've had to work through to kind of grow this community? And I assume the biggest percentage of the community is in America. Would that be a false assumption, or would that be because franchising is so big in America?
Yeah. I would say obviously Canada and the U.S. is our biggest
So what
market.
are some of the? I'm just curious because you're an entrepreneur yourself, and I always think it's helpful for folks listening because sometimes they can resonate by hearing what other people are going through. What were some of the challenges that you faced in getting this thing launched?
Yeah, I think for marketplace, our challenge, and I think this is probably, the same across the board for any entrepreneur that's tried or has successfully launched a marketplace, and it's the whole chicken and egg scenario. So that was our biggest challenge at the beginning, because at the end of the day, in order to attract buyers, we needed to have listings and inventory, and in order to have listings and inventory, we needed to have buyers within our marketplace. So, it was a big challenge, but we succeeded and kind of got ourselves out of that. So, and I think how we did that was just, once again, our commitment to, being present every single day on social media or wherever our target segment's eyes and ears are, and showing them that, we're not going away. We're very serious and passionate about creating the number one business and franchise for sale marketplace in the world. And pounding the pavement every day and working on it very hard, especially at the beginning. One of our, I guess, go-to market strategies was just to give away free listings at the beginning, and to be very transparent with the sellers, to let them know, hey, listen, we are just starting out. This is why we're willing to give you a free listing. And a lot of those first sellers were, our biggest champions and understood what we were trying to create, and they were okay with it. So they definitely provided a ton of feedback and helped us perfect features and the overall user experience. And as soon as, we started growing from the inventory side, we started noticing that sellers were just coming in flocks and engaging with us more on social media and at networking events and whatnot. Right now, I think we're past 5,000 active users. And it's growing, we're positively growing month over month, which is great from both a buyer and seller side.
That's fantastic. I think it's a really, really interesting concept and marketplace. And I would encourage folks listening to go check it out. Sounds like the best way to do that is to go to mybizon.com.
Correct. So mybizon.com. And like I said, you can definitely join for free. And why we ask people to join is because we're really trying to stay committed to creating this confidential community for buyers and sellers.
Keep up the great work. Like I said, I'm really intrigued by it. I've already I've joined myself just to kind of take a look at it. I'm sure others will as well. I think it's an interesting way to kind of fill a void in the marketplace where traditionally it's always been about just connecting with the broker, and there's nothing wrong with that, but this is just really connecting different communities and providing different opportunities for folks in and around those communities. So thank you for coming on. Keep up the great work, and I'm sure we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, and I do want to just end off with one thing, because it's very important. And as far as the broker conversation, we're not, the BizON marketplace is not in competition by any means with a business broker, a realtor, or whatnot. We're a lot of business brokers leverage our marketplace as a marketing tool in order to help promote the sale of their clients' businesses or franchises. So what we position ourselves as is an option, right? An option for that business broker, an option for that small business owner that may be thinking about, trying to sell it themselves. But at the end of the day, we're working with everyone. We even tell business owners that, at the end of the day, we think if your goal is to sell that business, leverage as many qualified channels as you can. We just hope that we perform the best for you, and that's all we ask.
Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, sorry about. I mean, I knew that. I think it's important to harp on that because again, you guys don't want to. You're not trying to position yourself as competitors to brokers. That's why it's a big open marketplace and a big community so that people can go on there. So thank you again, Nunzio. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes and coming on, and I have no doubt that people will have great interest in checking my BizON out. So thank you and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Josh. You too.
Thanks for being with us today on the Franchise Euphoria podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go to iTunes and provide a review. Also, please remember that although Josh Brown is a licensed and practicing attorney, nothing contained in this podcast should be construed as legal advice, because it is not. The information contained in this podcast is general and educational in nature, and none of it should be relied upon as legal advice. That being said, if you have questions for Josh and would like to contact him, please email him at josh@franchiseeuphoria.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you tune in to our next weekly episode.